So in today's video, I'm going to talk about maximum pain, potentially going up to the upside pretty aggressively, or maybe a rejection before we even get there. So let's get into it. On the screen, I talked the other day about influencers, Google traffic, all that kind of metrical kind of noise that we've not really got. That's the way I'm a little bit, cautious at the moment until something happens, which I will go onto the chart, so make sure you do stick around. I will show you a very, very good chart that people aren't looking at. And I think it's important to get that narrative. Everyone's looking on Twitter, Reddit, and everything. Everyone's getting really excited. Do not get excited about other people's hype. Don't get trading because someone else is excited. They could be looking at different time frames, different things. It's a big thing, right? So that's one big tick in the box. Have we got that? No, not really. That's a problem. As I mentioned, problem. Some people see this as bullish. Some people see it as bearish. For me, we need a catalyst. I think $50,000 on BTC will bring back the FOMO of people. Bloomberg will talk about it. CNBC will talk about it. It will make much more sense. So let's look at the charts, right? If you're new around here, I'm pretty realistic, pretty objective. This is the 3-day time frame on the total market cap. At the minute, still now, we have not broken across this big level. In my opinion, it is a huge level. We need to break it. If we don't, well, we could be going down. So I'm going to go over a scenario that I talked about in a previous video. There's a thumbnail here, and I talked about end of cycle, right? I know. We could be going towards that target pretty soon. It could be called a melt up. A melt up is where there's a herding of investors, a lot of sentiment-based kind of psychological things around a price action, and it may well go up pretty quick, then it may well come back down. It could form the big head and shoulders pattern that I've been talking about. The reason why people aren't looking at this chart is probably because they're too busy looking at their altcoins. Now, I think, as per the thumbnail, alt season, or are we going to get maximum pain? I think there's a mixture of two here, which is going to be interesting to kind of see. I'm going to explain. If we pop higher and BTC pops higher, there's one thing that I've noticed is the dominance chart is doing a nice correction. Now, if this is to melt lower and continue to melt lower, it will be a full-blown alt season. I think people are going to get confused because if this retrace, this is a really aggressive impulse. And yes, it has done it here and it's impulse and it's stopped. But I want to give you a question. What if it doesn't correct all the way back down? What if it stops around this point or even this point and then goes to these high levels? You are not going to get a full-blown alt season. You're going to get a USD season potentially if BTC is strong, i.e. your Tether prices, USDC prices, whatever you're looking at, will be going up, but your Satoshi values in the BTC pair will be melting, especially if this continues going up towards its 47%. That could be pretty painful for a lot of altcoin holders. We are still in this range. We're at the bottom. Now, yes, alt season could happen if we continue to melt, obviously, right? You'll probably see other metrics to show that. If not, you'll probably get a hidden thing where your Satoshis are melting and your USD prices are pumping. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you need to play it safe. You need to start looking at your BTC holdings and hold onto some BTC just in case, because the BTC pairs may be coming low for potential opportunities. So where do we go from here? The total market cap is an important metric. I will look at BTC in a minute. But for me, we are still in this bit of a downy trend kind of ish. We haven't formed a higher low yet on these higher time frames, which is kind of an important metric that we've not looked at. We've formed a double bottom, but we haven't had this impulse pullback yet. That is what I'm waiting on. If that happens and it's strong enough, I may well put a little bit more in the market. I am, by the way, disclosure here. I'm in the market, by the way. People think I'm not, but I am in the market. I'm just not put all of my stuff in the market just yet. In terms of my swing bags, my money that I can move around. Now, let's talk about something else, because there's something that I mentioned in the last video that went over people's heads. Profit taking, right? Scenario A could be, we go up, you may need to take profits, and I will explain on the charts. If you do have that situation, you may well be looking at BlockBuy. Link below, by the way, get some free BTC. If you're in the US, apologies, the accounts are not registered by the SEC, so sorry, you can't really use it. However, there's some top assets here that you can earn interest on by just sitting on your altcoins. If that is too complicated for you in terms of like getting, you know, a ledger, I've got a ledger on my desk here. You can't utilize that. You can utilize this very, very quick, very, very easily. So make sure you check out the link below. Now, I mentioned I wanted to look at BTC. Now, I did a video on this explaining what this is. Now, my analysis is simple, very, very simple. If we are going to go from this swing high to this as the bottom or local bottom, we could be seeing some moves up. Now, this is the bullish narrative. If we break above this, the market will probably become more bullish. Now, if we break above 50,000, I think retail will start getting interested. And I think this is the area of maximum pain. I think there'll be a lot of people taking profits. And I recommend people to take some partial profits here. Why? Because this could be the thing that changes the narrative of the entire market. Now, why do I say this? This could be the head and shoulders, that could be the end of the cycle. I've mentioned in previous videos talking about the halving cycles. We're at a certain point now where we're getting towards where the last two bear markets, we tippled over, right? From the duration of when the halving started to where we are now, we're getting to that point now. I've already done videos, and again, thumbnails here, key data, in terms of where the markets have been, in terms of the duration of days when it toppled out, and also the corrections that they did. In the two previous cycles that we've had, we've done an 85% correction in BTC. On two of those, the dates were within a week of each other as well in terms of start of the halving to the end of the cycle. They are very, very big key metrics that we need to be careful of, which is why that is a big warning sign saying, if we get there, take something off the table. Take something off, just in case. If it doesn't, the rest of your bags, boom, they'll go up. Cool, right? I'm happy to be wrong in that case. But a win-win scenario is take fucking profit. Come on, guys. It's simple. So when that happens, do it. Now, the reason why I say that is because I know I'm talking about alt-season stuff. If we do go like that and then we do melt and we do continue going down and we do a big correction from that point and that is the end of the cycle, it could be interesting. Now, I've just inputted here a poll from my YouTube channel. Still, a lot of people believe that this is just a relief rally, and I do too at the moment until something changes. If this is an aggressive pull-up, it could be quite an aggressive pull-down, so just be absolutely careful. I will be taking more money out of the market when those levels hit. I've been in the market for a long time, so I'm quite happy to do so. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, and I know it's a bit boring, but for some people, Ethereum. Ethereum looks a little bit better, but not mind-blowing, right? Again, we're below this level. This is a thing. A lot of people are getting very, very bullish, and we still haven't formed a higher low yet. We're waiting for those to appear, in my opinion. If we pull back into a good range, it may be a good time to buy if you are looking to risk some money. That being said, we may reject at this point. We may do we may well do a higher low, then we may reject here again. So always remember your take profit target. So, maximum pain. Scenario A is BTC carries on going up to this point and then melts lower than where we've been. That is maximum pain number 1. Maximum pain number 2 is the bearish scenario. The bearish narrative could come into play where we could reject at this level again. We've only rejected off here a few times. And we go lower into this 30k level. So there's 2 maximum pains. Now, a little bit of dynamic here in the market. Percentage wise, up to this TP line is 38%. The drop line to this point is roughly around 25%. If we're going to go a little bit lower, 30%. So realistically, hedge your bets. Realistically, what I would say is to anyone, we are still technically in somewhat of a higher time frame downtrend. We need to break key levels. There's nothing wrong with getting a little bit later if you know it's safer. Don't be risking your capital or resistance in the hope of a breakout because you've been reading people on Twitter. That could be the downfall, and that is where the biggest downfall is for a lot of people. So, hope you enjoy the video. If you do like it, leave it a like. If you do like my content, subscribe. And yeah, have a great weekend.